Honorable members, the matters under Rule 377 shall be laid on the table of the House. Members who have been permitted to raise matters under Rule 377 today and are desirous to laying them may personally hand over the text of the member to the table of the House within 20 minutes. Only those matters shall be treated as laid for which text of the matter has been received at the table within the stipulated time. The rest will be treated as lapsed. Item number 12, Honorable Minister.
Sir, with your permission, I rise to move that the bill to provide special provisions for the National Capital Territory of Delhi for recognizing the property rights of residents in unauthorized colonies by securing the rights of ownership or transfer or mortgage in favor of the residents of such colonies who are possessing properties on the basis of power of attorney, agreement to sell, will, possession letter, or any other documents, including documents evidencing payment of consideration and for the matters connected therewith or incidental thereto, be taken into consideration.
If you want to comment, speak.
Sir, I want to provide a small background and perspective to the issue which is now brought before this House through this bill. Sir, when we became an independent country in 1947, the population of Delhi was 8 lakhs. After the turbulence and the violence, the bloodshed of the partition of India, another 11 lakh people came and sought refuge in the city of Delhi. The 1950 census, which is the first census that we have, placed the population of Delhi at around 20 lakhs. We are expecting the next census, sir, in 2021, and anyone who is even a nodding acquaintance with the city of Delhi knows that the population in Delhi or the National Capital Region today will be in the vicinity of 2 crores, give or take a little. Why do people move to other places? Essentially, sir, because they want to go to places where they can earn a livelihood. When my previous generation came and sought refuge in Delhi, they stayed in makeshift refugee camps. My father stayed in a refugee camp in Kingsway Camp. Then, slowly, the city has to provide the infrastructure. Clearly, sir, we have failed those who come and inhabit the urban spaces. In fact, I would go to the extent of saying, prior to May 2014, when Modi ji's government was formed, we were somehow treating the urban space as part of a consideration, never fully comprehending the potential or the fact that it could be turned into a win-win. After Modi ji's government came in, the Prime Minister's flagship programs, many of them were introduced in June 2015. Let me give you one example, sir. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana was introduced by the Prime Minister because he wanted to implement his dream, which was to give every Indian, no matter where he or she lived, a home which could be called their own, with a pakka structure, a toilet, a kitchen, and the title of that tenement would have to be in the name of the lady of the house, because there was a feeling that whenever there was marital discord, it is the lady who got shortchanged. Now, when my ministry did a demand assessment in the year 2014-15 as to how many new structures would have to be constructed, they came to the conclusion that we would have to build something like 1 crore units under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana for every Indian to be able to live in a home which he or she can call their own, and which was the Prime Minister's dream. Sir, I'm very, very happy to inform you that the latest figures I have of the Pradhan Mantri's Awas Yojana, where the demand assessment was 1 crore or 10 million, which was subsequently revised to 1 crore 12 lakhs or 11.2 million, in the meeting of the Committee on Sanctioning and Monitoring of Projects, which took place yesterday under the chairmanship of the Secretary in my ministry, we have sanctioned another 370,000 homes, and the total figure against the 1 crore required is something like 96 or 97 lakhs. So 3 years before the scheme is to be completed in 2022, we are almost completing it. But sir, it is a fact that many states in the country show uneven progress. The state from which I am elected, Uttar Pradesh, has done sterling work in the last period after March 2017 for more than 14 lakhs, 50,000 Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana's units have been given. I'm only citing this as an example. Sir, I want to come back to the specific issues of Delhi. Delhi, sir, today is not only the national capital, but it is the highest provider of revenue, largest contribution to the GDP, and people come to settle in Delhi to look for work from all regions of the country, from all walks of life. Like I gave the example of 1947 when people came after the partition to a newly independent India, we estimate that today some 40 lakhs of Delhi citizens, that is 40 lakhs out of the 2 crore or so population that we have, reside in what are called unauthorized colonies, sir. And I want to spend a minute or two explaining why this term unauthorized is used. Sir, unauthorized colonies pose a problem for a variety of reasons. Because they are unauthorized, because the people living there don't have registered conveyance deeds, they cannot raise money from the banks, the local authorities which have to provide amenities do not treat them on par with regular colonies which are part of the master plan, the layout, etc. Attempts have been made to deal with the problem of unauthorized colonies over the last many decades. I can cite such attempts having been made in 1961, 1977, 2000, 2008, and so on. But I can tell you, sir, all these attempts have been half-hearted. They have never grappled with the problem in its entirety. And today we have a situation where 40 lakhs or more, sir, the figure may be as high as 50 lakhs also, they have been living in these so-called unauthorized colonies. Sir, in 2008, some notification, a gazette notification was gazetted on March 24, 2008. Based on that notification, some 1,760 or so colonies were identified as falling in this category. Sir, some attempt was made in 2008, but again the attempt was half-hearted. Then we come to the year 2011, sir, and a very famous case in which the Supreme Court, in the matter of Suraj Lamp and Industries versus the state of Haryana, on 11th October, the judgment said, and I would seek your indulgence just to quote the operative parts of the judgment. It said, "We therefore reiterate," this is paragraph 16 of the judgment, "We therefore reiterate that immovable property can be legally and lawfully transferred, conveyed only by a registered deed of conveyance. Transactions of the nature of GPA sales or SA GPA will transfers do not convey title and do not amount to transfer, nor can they be recognized a valid mode of transfer of immovable property. The courts will not treat such transactions as completed or concluded transfers or as conveyances, as they neither convey title nor create any interest in an immovable property." Sir, the fact of the matter is most of the property transactions in Delhi took place most of the time under general power of attorney and the kind of documentation that I am mentioning. With this Supreme Court judgment, persons who were in possession of property there, or people who moved into such colonies, found it very difficult to acquire what I call, for want of a better term, legitimacy in terms of the local laws. It became clear when we passed some regulations in 2015. These regulations were passed under the This is the last major modification to the regulations towards regularization of unauthorized colonies notified on 1st January 2015 under the Delhi Development Act. All these regulations that we were passing, all the consideration of these matters made it abundantly clear that the government of the National Capital Territory of Delhi would have to delineate these unauthorized colonies. In other words, they would have to digitally map these colonies, because you cannot proceed to the next stage of conferring rights unless you know how many colonies there are. So, sir, I take you back to 2008. We are today in 2019. For 11 years, whichever government has been in the Capital Territory of Delhi, and I don't want to say which government was there till 15 or which government was there after 2015. They made attempts, but these were half-hearted attempts. It became very clear to us, sir, when in correspondence with the current government, which is in power in the National Capital Territory of Delhi, when they gave affidavits before the learned High Court, when in correspondence with us, when they told us that the company which has to be entrusted with the task of mapping these colonies digitally, that company has not even been awarded the work and they require another 2 years, it became very clear that till 2021, nothing would happen. That is the time, sir, that the government, central government, took a decision. The Prime Minister, as part of his overall urban rejuvenation programs, that we would, in one go, as a special one-time case, seek the legislative authority to confer ownership rights, or what we call Malkana Haq in Hindi, on the residents of these 1,700, the total number of colonies, sir, I want to say 1,797 as per the 2008 notification. We have excluded from these colonies those colonies which clearly fall in another category. These are colonies where the affluent members of society live, so these have been excluded, and the current bill seeks to address the problems of those who live in the 1,731 colonies where there are disadvantaged people. The plot sizes are very small. Some of them are 25, 30 square meters, or even when they go up, they're not more than 100 square meters, etc. They vary. Sir, what do we propose to do? First of all, sir, this exercise has two clear segments. The first segment is that the work which should have been done in the last 11 years, that is to digitally map these colonies, that work needs to be completed. And I have with a sense of humility and with a great sense of satisfaction, that I place through you before this House that the work which could not be done in the last 11 years, we propose to complete it well before December 31. All 1,731 colonies their maps will be uploaded on the new portal which has been created. Now, I want to provide a few clarifications here, sir. It's not that we are only physically getting the data from the Survey of India or any technical agency or satellite imagery. We are doing something more. We are putting up the boundaries of a colony, and you know these colonies are spread, their boundaries are intermingling with the boundaries of another. We are trying to draw lines, but we are uploading these digital maps onto the portal, and we are giving the Resident Welfare Association of those areas a time of 15 days to respond. It may so happen that when you place such a digital map, upload it, someone will come around and say, you're calling this a colony so-and-so? No, this is my colony, and that we might have to readjust the digital maps. This is the first part of the process, sir. I'm very happy to inform you that I think we have already got the maps of 600 or so. Even as we speak, work is going on. But within the next few weeks, all 1,731 colonies, their digital maps will be uploaded. After that comes, sir, a second and a more important phase. Individuals who can show evidence that they are living in those tenements, those who have recourse and they can produce either a general power of attorney, a will, agreement to sell, payment, or a possession document, they can then start applying on the second portal, which will be created very shortly. I think my date for the creation of the portal is 16th December. So we have one portal on the uploading of all the digital maps ready. The second portal will be ready by 16th December. After that, all the people who have been deprived of conferment rights for the last 11 years or even earlier are free to come and apply for registration. And in order to make it really easy, the terms for this conveyance has been made, if I may be permitted to say so, extremely beneficial to those who are living there. For small plots of less than 50 meters or so, 100 meters, they are charging only 0.5% of the circle rate. If it is private land or government land, then either 0.5% or 0.25%. If it is between 100 square meters and 250 square meters, it is 1%. And if it is beyond that, it is 2.5%. And as I said, half if it is in the other category. Sir, the only two categories which have been excluded are if you are on forest land or a proscribed category, or if it is an encroachment on government land. This provides, I think, something about 9% of the total. All the others will be covered. Sir, this, I might like to share with you that these 40 lakh or 50 lakh people, whatever the figure is, live in unauthorized colonies which spread over about 175 square kilometers or 43,000 acres of land. So they are very widespread, but we will now have the architecture, the ecosystem in place in one go to provide them all confer ownership rights. Now, sir, I have seen in the press in the last few days, I have seen some evidence in the, these are opening remarks. I will be happy to listen to our honorable members. I've seen some suggestions saying that, you know, we must get this done in 3 days. Sir, we can design an ecosystem whereby all the colonies, all 1731 of them, will be digitally uploaded on a portal which is already functioning. It already has some colonies, we are adding to them by the day. And we can design a very efficient system whereby as soon as you can prove, it may so happen, sir, that when we start the online work on the second portal, we come across that the gentleman, my senior colleague, may have documents in his possession which show that he has a claim. But, you know, general power of attorney, sometimes properties are sold many times over. Somebody else may show that as evidence. My own assessment is such cases are not more than 15% or so. So we should be able to confer ownership rights to a large number of people who live in these colonies. I said, I have been, for the tentative conclusions I've been adopting is between 40 to 50 lakh people, and I think this will mean 7 or 8 lakh people who will apply for the conferment of these rights. Sir, I would like to confine myself with these introductory comments. I'm very sure that the bill is in many cases sui generis. It's one of a kind because it seeks to provide a one-time exception in order to improve the living of our citizens in this capital city. Because if we were not to do this and allow this, many of these buildings where 40, 50 lakh people live are unsafe. There are unhygienic conditions. Civic amenities are not being provided to them. And it is part of a larger work that we are doing for the city of Delhi and our urban spaces. Very recently, we announced land pooling, which will result in 17 lakh homes being built. We have added about 120, 130 kilometers of the metro, and there are certain other steps which we have already taken and will take. So I recommend the bill for consideration and approval, sir.